First thing I do is grab a pen and paper. I'd write down all the things I care about, all the hobbies, topics, whatever I'm interested in, hunting, fishing, underwater basket weaving, you name it. Put them all on a paper, as many as possible. And I'd pick my top 5. Okay. I would go into, I'd go to Facebook and I would go join groups that are tied to those. Because like I said, you're going to meet people with the same interests. You're going to have knowledge to offer. You're going to have thought-provoking questions. You're going to add value to that group, be a good citizen. Wouldn't even mention my company, but I would build relationships with people that I was like-minded with and cared about the same thing. On top of that, I would be posting reels about those 5 topics, rotating throughout the week, one a day, one topic or one reel per topic throughout the week.
Being a part of those groups, I would be very intentional about interacting very regularly in there. Kind of like everybody knows your name in the group in a positive light. Like you're always being super positive. You're having good, engaging conversations. And then as we were doing that, I would be checking out people's profiles inside of those groups and seeing who has something of like mind. Can I connect with them naturally? Can I add them as a friend and then send a message like, hey, saw you in that group. I love what you share. I thought it would be nice to stay connected and follow each other's journeys. Like that's not weird. So I would do that basically on speed, the DMO on speed, where we normally would only maybe add 1 to 3 friends a day. I might add 5 to 10 a day.
Welcome to MLM Nation, a podcast of leaders, by leaders, for leaders, hosted by Simon Chan. He's built a team of over 200,000 and is now a full-time MLM coach and trainer. So if you're ready to level up your business, join us now. Let's do this.
MLM Nation, this is Simon Chan. I'm fired up to bring this power couple to you. We have Ray and Samantha Allen. Hey, Ray and Samantha, are you ready to make it happen?
We are ready.
Absolutely. We've been waiting to hear that. So excited.
Ray and Samantha Allen are a military couple when network marketing found them 11 years ago. Despite multiple deployments to the Middle East, they were able to build their business in the nooks and crannies of their busy lives. It took them 6 years to hit 6 figures, but their consistency in their DMO paid off and they were able to leave the military with no retirement pay and still live the life they wanted. Today, they enjoy their time in their 53-acre farm in Virginia and homeschool their 7 kids. So Ray and Samantha, welcome to MLM Nation. But take us back 11 years ago. How did you two discover network marketing?
Absolutely. It's such a pleasure. When we first found network marketing, we were loved and honored to serve in the military. But I was actually getting ready to leave for a 10-month deployment. So I was getting ready to go when your friend actually gave us a call. A friend from the Marine Corps gave us a call.
Yeah, absolutely. I had a friend who we had always kind of chatted when we were in the Marine Corps together about how all we kind of wanted to do beyond the Marine Corps was be moms. And so she thought of me when she got started in her network marketing business, and she called me a little bit out of the blue. But I was not skeptical because, one, we had no idea about network marketing. We didn't have any preconceived ideas. And also, Ray and I were always kind of talking about ways that we could do something that would allow us to have more time together, maybe a business, maybe we'd invent something. We would joke, we'll write a book, we'll find a way to get our time back together. So, she called us up, shared with us what this was. And it just made so much sense to us. We felt like this was really what God was leading us to.
Yeah, we at the time, again, getting ready to leave for 10-month deployment, my mind wasn't necessarily thinking, oh, let's go start a business. But what we had wanted, because, when we graduated, actually, Samantha was commissioned in the Marine Corps. I was in the Navy. So we actually couldn't get stationed together until we were already married for 4 years. So we were already married for 4 years, had our first daughter along the way before we actually got to live under the same roof. And we had 2 good incomes as a pilot and a Marine officer. But what we didn't have was our time. And, when thinking about, hey, we'll come up with an invention or, we'll write a book, we were just describing different ways to create leveraged income. We were just ignorant of other ways to do it. So, when we were told, hey, go to this meeting, we were blown away, because we didn't have any preconceived notions, but we thought this could be our vehicle. So we gave it a shot. And what we saw were people from all walks of life building a business and being successful around a product that we knew we were going to take for the rest of our lives anyway. And the culture just blew us away.
Yeah. In kind of the corporate world or the government world that we were working in the military, we had never heard professionals use terms like they're so blessed or they're thanking God for an opportunity. And so that really struck us that there was a culture here in this company and in this type of business where we could really feel good about raising our family around this type of industry and this culture. Really, it felt good.
So how did you two do once you got started?
How did we do with the business?
Yeah, I think in our first year, well, first of all, we're so grateful and blessed to have a fantastic upline who, laid it all out for us, set at proper expectations. But I believe in our first year, we enrolled, one consultant, and it was a package deal. It was Sam's parents.
Yeah.
And, a handful of customers here and there, I believe, right?
Yeah, we did not have what you'd call rapid success, Simon. We were very slow out the gate, not because we were not all in. We were 100% all in from day one. Ray and I went to the first meeting together to decide if we were going to do this. We decided we together are going to do this. This will be our business that we will build so that we can do this beyond the military full time. That was our vision literally from the beginning. However, life circumstances, Ray left for a 10-month deployment. I had our youngest or our oldest at the time, a 1-year-old baby. And so it was a little bit on me while he was deployed to kind of figure out what this business was for the first year. And, it was just a crash course in learning all the things that I did not know already. So did a lot of mindset, read all the books that they told us to read, really plugged in. But honestly, for the first 4 years, even when Ray came back, for the first 4 years, we were very, kind of stagnant, a little bit up and down, enrolled people here and there, but we definitely did not have it figured out. We knew we had true faith and confidence that we would, but we just didn't have it figured out for the first 4 years.
So for the first year, you said the only person you sponsored was your mom, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and a handful of customers. So you probably made, $1,000, less than that?
Not even.
Not even.
No, not even.
Well, what kept you in the game?
Well, one thing we heard early on was, don't miss an event. And the people, one of the things I always loved to hear was, if you want to have what someone else has, you have to be willing to do what they did. And so one of those things was attending all events. We were told it was non-negotiable. So we plugged in. And it's not just what you hear on the stage at events from your corporate events, meeting people from all over the country, all over the world, in the line to fill your water bottle or anything else, people with amazing stories. So we knew that it was real and it could be done. And we knew that there are normal people who are doing this. We weren't just crazy, which gave us the confidence that, hey, if all these people can do it, why not us?
Yeah. I would say also, there's many things people can get from network marketing, that's sort of, the smaller income if they want to pay a few extra bills, or that mid-level income if they want to maybe pay a rent or mortgage. We did not have that vision. For us from the very beginning, it was literally going to be our full-time income. It didn't matter how long it took. Our timeline was 7 years because that's how many years Ray still had left in the Navy. He could not get out in less than 7 years from the time we started. So we knew that was like our clock. And so we did not focus on the amount of money we were making in between that. We didn't care if we, weren't making a lot. We knew that at some point when our business, when we attracted enough of the right people, became the people that we needed to, grew into the leaders that we needed to be, we knew that our business would be big enough to provide for our family. And so, if someone looked at what we were making after 4 years, they would have thought we were absolutely crazy, throwing away Ray's Navy career.
And one of the things we heard was, I'm going to misattribute the quote, but, to burn the boats behind you. And after I got back from that deployment, we locked arms again, got into business building mode again. We weren't having huge success, but we plugged in. We knew that this was a reality for us, and it was going to be a reality because this was going to be our vehicle. My bosses thought I was crazy, but I told them that I was going to take a non-career enhancing, a non-flying job in the Navy, and that's like a career killing move. But I knew I had full faith in what we had. So, we jumped on it. So we had a very real timeline. There's a lot in between now and, that point and when we hit, where we needed to be before I got out of the Navy. But that timeline made it very real for us. And it just built that why even stronger because we knew that paycheck was going to be turned off, one day.
So you mentioned confidence before, and you've been doing it for 4 years, and I like the 7-year vision, right? So even you're going 4 years of struggle, you're not making much money. How do you maintain or create that confidence when you haven't made it yet? And I'm sure in 4 years you see a lot of people make it quicker, but you're 4 years through struggling along, getting a little bit very small, a little bit better. How do you get the confidence that it's going to be real? This is going to happen.
Well, to be honest with you, we borrowed other people's confidence, in the beginning. And, we're here on MLM Nation. We got a chance to, spend 45 minutes to an hour listening, with some of the top leaders in the industry and hearing their stories. So that gave us social proof. That was one of your podcast, Simon, what you're able to do for the industry and building people's belief before they build their own story is, you can't put a price on the value it's given to us.
Yeah, attending events. I mean, to be honest, there's no way around attending events. You have to get in person with people who are already at that success level you're looking to achieve. And you have to actually know that they're a real human being, especially in this world of online. Sometimes it's so hard to believe that there are real people doing this. So we attended the very first event 2 weeks after starting in this business. So it was never a question from the beginning of if this could happen. It was only a matter of when. And we are just the kind of people who we are literally not going to quit when we set our mind to something until we achieve it. And again, because we believed so wholeheartedly in what we were doing with our particular company, and we knew real friends who were pouring into us that got to that place, it literally did not matter to us. We felt like it would be in God's timing when we would, have the business that we needed. And it ended up happening. It ended up happening in time so that we could, have Ray transition out of the Navy, and have our business support us.
What was the specific turning point or aha moment where things you didn't do much for 4 years and things really start taking off for you?
We can pinpoint it exactly, Simon. It was social media. It was learning about social media. Our first 4 years in the business, we never want to discredit anything that our leaders, our mentors taught us. They taught us everything that they knew to do and that made them successful. And they helped us form a mindset that was going to take us wherever we needed to go. However, in our company, nobody was doing Facebook, social media. It just was not a thing for our first 4 years. So Ray and I were able to qualify for an incentive trip at the end of 2016. And we met some leaders that had come into our company a year before, and they were all flying through the ranks. And we got to know them on this trip and found out that they are really amazing people. They're very like-minded with us. And we asked them, what are you guys doing? What's your secrets? And they told us all their secrets. And it was basically the concept that we now know is attraction marketing. That was the first time we had ever been taught anything about that. It made a lot of sense to Ray and me. And we came home from that trip and decided to learn about it. And interestingly, right after that trip, the next MLM podcast that I listened to, MLM Nation podcast that Ray and I heard, was from Fernie Ceballos talking about this exact thing back in 2017. And so for us, it was a confirmation that this was the direction that we needed to go. And that is when our business took a complete turn. In the next 2 years, we hit that 6-figure rank after implementing those strategies.
So you mentioned your bosses and people at work thought you were crazy. What was the day like when you finally went there and told them you were retiring and leaving with no retirement pay?
Yeah, well, it was interesting because when I made that decision, as a pilot, they invest a lot of money in training you. So I owed about 10 and a half years of service. So I still had, when we started our business, I still had just under 7 years that I still had to serve. When I made that decision, they counseled me, because they had the best interest in me. They're like, Ray, how I can't believe you're just so you understand, you're going to throw your career away by doing this. So I had to go to counseling with pretty much every one of my department heads at the time. And there are guys I respect, I'm still friends with today. But I looked them in the eye and I told them that, with all due respect, I had a vision for what I wanted my family's life to look like. And it didn't look like doing the same thing and leaving my family for months at a time, 10 years down the road from right now, or even 5 years down the road from right now. And that's not to disparage anything that's done in the military. We are honored to have served, but I just knew that I didn't want my life to look like theirs in 5 years. So we pretty much burnt the boats, Simon.
And then getting to that point where the day actually finally came, right? It was in 2020, actually, a month before, all this stuff happened in the world, with things shutting down. Ray was able to walk away from the Navy. And I don't think there's any way to describe what that felt like.
No, there's no way to describe that. I actually got home from my last deployment in July of 2019, and literally 3 days later, our team, our organization, our business hit that first six-figure mark in our company. And coming home from deployments, leaving are already emotional, as it is. But hitting that number and realizing that, okay, this is great for our family, obviously, but now we have a serious responsibility and obligation to give this, what we now have and blessed to have, to as many families as possible. Because I'm telling you, if you could bottle up that emotion and sell it, forget about it. It'd be unbelievable.
You mentioned your aha moment was attraction marketing, right? If someone was going to get started with attraction marketing right now, hey, what you shared, Sam, was awesome. What should they do? What are a couple of first steps they should do?
Well, we rely on the DMO. We have taught that since 2017. You have a checklist every single day. And that checklist is, it starts at the very top with personal development. So we do 15 minutes of mindset personal development, whether that's listening to a book, reading a book, listening to a podcast, audio, and then 15 minutes of specific like network marketing mindset, like learning about the business of network marketing. And then after that, it's steps you take on Facebook, wishing people a happy birthday, adding a new friend, commenting on others' posts, sending a private message just to catch up with people, not poaching, not spamming, like none of that, just being sincerely and authentically interested in other people and what's going on in their life. And, going into Facebook groups of like mind, finding people who they really resonate with you. A couple points on that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that was, if I was going to tell someone right now, starting from scratch, I would tell them, hey, break out a piece of paper and a pen. We do this for the new people. Write down as many things as possible that you're knowledgeable about, you're passionate about, and that you care about. It doesn't matter what it is, whether it's, hunting, fishing, your family, your faith, fitness, literally like underwater basket weaving, literally whatever you are into, write those things down, get as many on a piece of paper as possible, and go back, circle your top 3 or 5, whatever those topics are. Go join Facebook groups that talk about those things, because right off the bat, you're going to be able to, connect with like-minded people. You're going to have knowledge to share. You're going to have thought-provoking questions to add value to the group. And you're going to be happy to be all those people in that group's cheerleaders. Don't say a word about your business, but this is it's like a networking hack, if you will, to, make friends and connect with like-minded people. Because regardless of the group, whether it's hunting or underwater basket weaving, everyone in that group is going to want to get healthier or wealthier. I would argue. I'd be willing to argue that point. So that's what I would recommend, in getting started with that, in addition with the DMO.
That's awesome advice there. How do you get everything done? Going back to your first couple of years before you went full-time, being between deployments and stuff, how do you get the DMO done despite being so busy?
Yeah. Well, the first 4 years, we weren't doing a DMO. We were just doing old school calling people. So when Ray was gone and it was just me, I'd wait until however many kids we had at the time were in bed, usually around that 8 o'clock time. And I'd call the people that I was reaching out to. I'd have a list of people, friends from the past, like they say always, to make a list of anybody you ever knew from the time you were young, and start, make that call. That was not easy for me, Simon. I do not like to make phone calls, but our why literally drove us to do the hard things. So that's what I did back when we started. Was I'd wait till the kids are in bed and then work really hard from like 8 o'clock to 10 p.m. every night. Now that we have a DMO, I love it because we have 7 kids and our lives are sometimes very unpredictable. We also have a farm with a lot of animals. So there's a lot of moving parts. I love a DMO because social media is a 24-hour cycle. You can make a post there might be more ideal times of the day to make a post, but if I really need to, I can make a post or a story at midnight and it still is going to get out there to the people. If you're doing it every single day, it works its way out. And so that's what we do. It's literally nooks and crannies. We say that our checklist with focus should take an hour. It might take some time to get, really good at focusing and not getting in the scroll hole on social media. But if you can focus, our DMO checklist should take an hour. So we find that time, whether it's going to be in the morning. Ray's more of a morning person, so he likes to get his done early in the morning. I'm usually, really a night owl. So I'm usually doing it at the last minute, right at nighttime. So that's really how we do it.
And How old are your kids? What ages?
So we have 6 daughters and 1 son. So our oldest is 12. Then we have another 9-year-old daughter. We have a 7-year-old daughter, a 5-year-old daughter, a 4-year-old son, a 2-year-old daughter, and a 6-month-old daughter.
Oh my goodness! All right, so you can play 7-on-7 flag football.
Yes.
Exactly. We're getting there.
Most people say 5-on-5 basketball, but you have a 7-on-7. How many animals do you have?
So they've come and gone. We the first 2 years we were here, we raised a bunch of pigs. I mean, we raised them here, butchered them, slaughtered them, everything right at home. We did 14 Berkshire hogs last year. Then we always have some goats and laying chickens, things like that. But we're adding some cows and sheep this spring.
That's very, very cool. So I know consistency, we all know, is very important. How do you stay consistent? I know you talk about your, Sam, you do stuff in the evening, Ray does in the beginning. Do you have any routines or hacks to help you stay consistent?
Oof. I will say that's the thing that we are really trying to figure out, is how to better systematize and organize our life. I'd say that the biggest thing that keeps us consistent is the fact that we have every Monday, we have a team call, and that team call is mostly, first and foremost, to meet the new people on the team, share each other's stories of why they're excited, why they got started, kind of build that belief and that camaraderie with each other. So there's a couple things throughout the week that kind of keep us anchored. Then we have, every Wednesday, there's a presentation at 9 p.m. at night that, are a couple of the leaders in our organization all sort of juggle together, like they switch the responsibilities. But some of those things kind of anchor our week. And then in between, it's honestly just that DMO. That's the thing that keeps us consistent, because we know we need to every single day have that completed.
Yeah, and really, what's kept me going is really not thinking that personal development, the first thing on our DMO. We have 15 minutes of generic mindset personal development, 15 minutes of network marketing specific personal development. And if I miss those things right there, that is my anchor. That is my non-negotiable, because with all the chaos going on, whether it's the farm or the kids or just the world today, if I'm not consciously pumping good things between the 6 inches or 9, whatever it is between my ears, it's really easy to lose that consistency, fall off. And then you find yourself questioning, man, what just happened? It's been a week. I haven't listened to anything. But really, and that part took me a little while to realize that you don't just listen to all the personal development books and then stop, because during your journey, I might read something today that I haven't read for 5 years, but it's going to hit me differently because we're at a different point in our journey with network marketing, as leaders, as parents, just in life. So that is a never ending journey. That's not a destination.
This is my favorite question, because you shared a lot of your wins and your growth. But what is your worst moment in network marketing, to the point you wanted to quit, but you didn't, and that's why you are the leaders you are today?
Yeah.
First of all, we were never going to quit. So even as hard as it may have ever gotten with personalities and understanding different types of people and understanding our own personality, because that's a big thing in this personal development is so big. You sometimes have to figure out the way you are with people and things that are off-putting about you, with other people. So some of those things can be very challenging and they can cause you a lot of emotional distress. But at the end of the day, Simon, we had already made up our mind that we would never quit. I mean, unless something unethical happened or something that, violated our morals, we were never going to quit this. So even in those really hard times, we knew the answer already, so we would find a way out. But,
yeah, I mean, the hardest low moments for me throughout the business, we've been doing this for over 11 years now. And for 7 of them, I was active duty. So it would be going from being home, building our business hand in hand, helping one another, being totally committed to our business, to preparing for and then deploying to the other side of the world for anywhere from 6 to 10 months at a time, living in that world, which is, very, very different. And then coming home and going back and forth, being 1 foot in, 1 foot out on both sides. I got to tell you, it was very, very difficult for me over the years. But again, it always came back to, why are we doing this? And then, they always say, your why grows as you go. Well, we started off with 1 child and now we have 7 kids. So our why is why we were doing this, to be able to be home as a family, continue to grow throughout that. So it made those in and outs for me a lot more manageable because it was crystal clear why we were doing this business. Those children, so we could be home together, raising them on our terms.
Hey, thank you for your inspirational stories and wisdom. YouTube been awesome. As we go towards the end of the show, some quick questions to pick your brain, and these can be quick one-liners.
Awesome.
So the first one is, what is one of your favorite success quotes that motivates you?
My favorite one, and again, I feel bad that I don't know who to attribute this to, but it is: techniques there are many, principles there are few. Techniques may vary, but principles never do. And we found that to be so true over our 11 years building this business, because, while the social media and stuff may, there's different strategies and like the tactics, if you will, live, whether it's lives, reels, stories, whatever it is, the tactical level might change a little bit, but the principles and the reasons behind them absolutely never do. It's sharing authentically, sharing from the heart, and, looking at the other person that you're interacting with as an absolute human being and a soul.
I'd agree with that. Also, just do the next right thing.
What's the best piece of advice you ever received?
If you want to have what others have, you better be willing to do what they did to get it.
What's your favorite prospecting tool? So say you have a qualified prospect. Do you get on the Zoom with them? Do you send a video first? Do you send a personal video, company video? Or get on the phone? What do you like to use?
Yeah, we have us and a few other leaders made a 4-minute overview. It's on a website, so it kind of funnels them through what their interests are. And then we're really big about inviting people to our Facebook education groups so they can kind of see more of their own time. And then when somebody's really interested and wants to get their nitty-gritty questions answered, we schedule a Zoom to see if it's a good fit.
What's your favorite app on your phone that's not a social media app?
So I say the most utilized one that we use, we're not super techie outside of the social media, would just be our good old fashioned notes app. It's what we use on our phone or iPhone.
Yeah. And I mean, Apple Podcasts and Audible for our listening, but that's pretty much it. Canva for making graphics. Mm-hmm. Yep. Those are literally the only apps we use.
What are 2 or 3 books that you could recommend?
Number one, biggest impact, The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson. Not only did it change our business, it changed the way we approached everything we did in life with intentionality. And, when you read that, you realize, there's no neutral. You're either increasing towards your goal or going downhill, and there's really no in between. So it made us refocus everything we did and look at everything we did in life as parents, as business leaders, as spouses, completely different and much more intentional.
Yeah. And I would say early on, what really helped me was How to Win Friends and Influence People. I actually don't like the title. It sounds disingenuous or trying to do something to people that you're not intending to do. What I think it should be called is just how to be the best version of yourself, how to be the best husband, spouse, neighbor, citizen, because it really teaches you how to appreciate people. I always thought of myself as a very outgoing and friendly person, but what I realized after reading that book is I was not even aware of some of the ways that I really should be going above and beyond to show appreciation in my daily life for people.
And here's the last question, the $1 million question. You ready?
Yep.
And I want to hear from both of you. So imagine you had to start all over again and you knew no one. So you didn't know each other, didn't know your kids. You were like an alien that was on another planet, but you had all your current knowledge, skills, and wisdom. What's the first thing you do or the first place you go to build a network marketing business from scratch?
I'll say it again. The first thing we do with a brand new person, I would sit down. First thing I do is grab a pen and paper. I'd write down all the things I care about, all the hobbies, topics, whatever I'm interested in, hunting, fishing, underwater basket weaving, you name it. Put them all on a paper, as many as possible. And I pick my top 5. Okay. I would go into Facebook and I would go join groups that are tied to those. Because like I said, you're going to meet people with the same interests. You're going to have knowledge to offer. You're going to have thought-provoking questions. You're going to add value to that group, be a good citizen. Wouldn't even mention my company, but I would build relationships with people that I was like-minded with and cared about the same thing. On top of that, I would be posting reels about those 5 topics, rotating throughout the week, 1 a day, 1 topic or 1 reel per topic throughout the week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And being a part of those groups, I would be very intentional about interacting very regularly in there. Kind of like everybody knows your name in the group in a positive light. Like you're always being super positive. You're having good, engaging conversations. And then as we were doing that, I would be checking out people's profiles inside of those groups and seeing who has something of like mind. Can I connect with them naturally? Can I add them as a friend and then send a message like, hey, saw you in that group. I love what you share. I thought it would be nice to stay connected and follow each other's journeys. Like that's not weird. So I would do that basically on speed, the DMO on speed, where we normally would only maybe add 1 to 3 friends a day. I might add 5 to 10 a day. Now I don't want to go 20 a day because sometimes you get kicked off of Facebook for doing crazy stuff like that. But I would probably do 5 to 10 a day by working in those groups. And then, like Ray said, stay super consistent with our posting and a lot of reels.
As we wrap up, any last words or advice? And then what's the best way our listeners and viewers can connect with you?
The best advice I could say is get very clear on your why and keep plugging into, as many good things as you can, like MLM Nation.
Yeah, my advice would be if you know truly in your heart that this is your vehicle. If you've found out that your company that you're working with is the company you want to be with forever, and that you know that this is real, then do not ever quit. Never, never, never quit. It doesn't matter if you don't have fast success right out the gate. We certainly did not. Keep doing the next right thing, and you will eventually get to where you're trying to go.
Yep. Easy to find on Facebook. I'm Ray Allen, not the professional basketball player, just the regular Ray Allen, and Samantha Allen on Facebook. Easiest way to find us.
Mm-hmm.
MLM Nation, you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. And today you may hang with this power couple, Ray and Samantha Allen. So keep up the momentum and go to MLMNation.com. Click on the podcast tab, and the show notes will be right there with a summary with key takeaways and also the links to Ray and Samantha's Facebook. Definitely go follow them and check out the type of attraction marketing they are doing. In order to be successful in life, in business, and network marketing, you must help others. So Ray and Samantha, thanks again for sharing your valuable time with MLM Nation. We're grateful to you, and we appreciate you for having a positive impact on millions of distributors worldwide. Thank you so much again, and God bless you.
Thank you, Simon.
Thank you, Simon.
Hey, MLM Nation, recap with a great show from this power couple, Ray and Samantha Allen. I love this episode because there's no instant success, right? I think that you got the real deal where someone started part-time, and when you struggle, all you have that keeps you going is your dream and vision. Focus on the dream and vision and having that confidence. And when you're not confident, you borrow that confidence from others. And one thing they did was they stayed connected. I talk about a simple online system, right? Leading yourself, working the DMO, selling your change, commitment, consistency, being consistent, purpose-driven leadership, and staying connected. They went to events that kept them in the game. And then until, again, staying connected, they went on a trip and met a leader that told them about attraction marketing. And that was the big breakthrough. And they gave us specific tips about attraction marketing. I'm not going to go into details here, but go listen to it. But simple, it's like, hey, we all have passions, things that we're good at, things that we're interested in. Go and talk about them and join Facebook groups and give value. When you become a person of value, you become a person that people want to follow, right? That develops trust and influence, right? Influence is created by, authority is created by the content you create. So it doesn't necessarily need to be business related or product related, but think about the stuff you like and then give value to that audience. There's so many aha moments here about the DMO. That's part of my simple online system. The DMO, you got to do it every day, non-negotiable. And it doesn't matter. Some days you may not do as much. Some days you do a little bit more. Samantha's busy at homeschooling. She does it at night, right? Ray gets in early. He does it in the morning, right? But it's like we all have problems. Ray's going on long deployments. But again, you can either make money or make excuses, right? And if you have your why big enough, you are going to make it happen. I talked about this in the social media post. Be more resilient. Be more resourceful, and go ahead and have more courage. Do what you need to do. So I'm going to keep this episode, to recap, a little short. There's so many great nuggets. I think it's one more thing, is the 7-year vision, right? 7 years from now, even if it takes 7 years, what's going to happen? Their life is going to be way better than the life they had, being away from each other. It was crazy. 4 years married, never even together, right? Because they're always away to being deployed. Having a long-term vision, and we have a long-term vision, you're focused on little small growth. And it's like the compound effect. You grow a little bit, boom, and it happens. Like water boiling. Nothing happens, not happens, and then boils, right? Or water, cold, and then it freezes. But every day you're getting a little bit better. So anyway, great episode. Make sure you follow. Go to mlnation.com. I'll put the link to Ray and Samantha's Facebook profile. All the nuggets, the takeaways are there. Check out our improved show notes. We've been spending a lot of time on the podcast. They definitely have summaries, takeaways out there. Go check it out, mlnation.com. Click on the podcast tab. And then please subscribe and leave us a review, whether it's on YouTube, Apple, or Spotify, or all three. I would really appreciate it. Hey, I'll even throw this out there. If you leave a review, subscribe on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify, message me, and I'll give you a little free surprise and bonus. It will really, really make my day. So anyway, that's what I have. Again, I'm loud and proud to be a part of this amazing profession. Thanks again to Sam and Ray Allen. Make sure you connect with them. Apply what you learn and go out there and have a positive impact on someone's life. God bless you all.